This is on the agenda on 100.4 FM. Now, expropriation of property without compensation is not a silver bullet for land reform and redress. This is a sentiment of Public Works and Infrastructure Minister Patricia de Lille. And according to the Interministerial Committee, the new bill makes provisions for expropriation without compensation and features a clause that deals with instances where it may be just and equitable to pay no compensation for the expropriation of property in the public interest. Joining us now to tell us more about the new bill, we're joined by the Public Works and Infrastructure Minister Patricia de Lille. Hello and welcome to Radio 786, Minister.
Hi, Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, Minister. So there has been some of the amendments to this bill. I'm just going to go through some of them. The one says that it ensures that any act of expropriation is in compliance with the Constitution. What were the problems before this amendment and with that clause?
Well, first of all, my role and responsibility has been to replace the 1975 Act on Expropriation, because the Act is inconsistent with our current Constitution of 1996. And so we have produced a bill that is now aligned with the Constitution. The Chief State Law Advisor has certified the bill to be constitutional. The bill outlines circumstances when it may be just and equitable for nil compensation. The bill does not prescribe that nil compensation will be paid in all circumstances. And also, when there's no agreement about compensation between the landowner and government, then the courts will intervene and the courts will fix it. But currently, as the bill stands, the president, at least 7 national ministers, all the premiers of all the provinces, all the municipalities have got the rights to expropriate. The only thing that was missing was a general law of application, so that we ensure that all 3 spheres of government act within the ambit of the Constitution. And this is what this bill seeks to achieve. But more than that, expropriation is just but one method of land reform. It's an acquisition method.
This is on the agenda on 100.4 FM. We are in conversation with Public Works Minister Patricia de Lille, and speaking to us as the expropriation bill is up for further discussion and debate. And she was referring there to some of the amendments that have been made to the acquisition of land. Minister de Lille, we have you back online. I just want to touch on one of the aspects that you mentioned, and that was about having to sort these things out in court. Will that not delay the process?
No, not everything will be sorted out in court. Where there's an agreement between the landowner and the sphere of government that want to expropriate for the purposes of needing the land for public interest, like if you want to build a dam or a power station. It's only in the event where there's a disagreement between the landowner and government that it will then go to the court. Otherwise, the procedures are clear. Another policy of government in terms of land reform has been the donation policy. There are a number of people who are also prepared to donate land to government. So expropriation is just one of the methods where land is needed for public interest, and where the compensation must be just and equitable to protect the interests of the public and also the interests of the landowner.
Minister, we've seen it here in Cape Town. I'm sure you're very familiar with it as well. And it comes to when land has already been set aside to see to that issue of public interest, but it also clashes with other needs in terms of housing and that kind of infrastructure. Does this bill address these aspects as well, and or are there other avenues that are already in place to address this problem?
There has been an increase in land invasions all over the country, especially during the lockdown period. And in that instance, where land is being occupied illegally, we have seen that our courts, both here in the Western Cape and nationally, have acted on that. And that it's such a pity that it is delaying the provision of houses for people who are waiting on the waiting list when people invade land. So certainly this bill does not deal with land invasion at all. It only deals with expropriation for public interest.
But I'm referring you to land that's already been set aside for that, yet there are these concerns. So this will not be affected then by that. Minister, I'm just finally then looking at how these amendments will assist in your job as the Public Works Minister.
Well, it will certainly assist all three spheres of government. It will bring more certainty to investors, to South Africans, to understand that this is not going to be a wholesale grab of land. And my office must prepare a register of expropriation cases all over the country. We are already preparing for that. And of course, we will work with communities to go and explain to communities how the bill is working. We also have to speed up the issue of land restitution because many people are still waiting for their land to be returned to them. And so the land program that will be driven by the Department of Public Works and the Interministerial Committee chaired by Deputy President, we will do everything in our power to make sure that we speed up land reform that is long overdue.
Minister, are there any plans and any specific projects that you are looking into once all of this has been finalized?
Well, not yet. Once the bill is now before Parliament, I've gazetted the bill on Friday. And so now the parliamentary processes will take over, and which we must all respect. And once the bill has been consented to by Parliament, it will then be signed by the President into law. And then as the minister responsible for the act, I then have to draft the regulations. So it's still going to take a bit of time depending and finalize their processes.
Minister Patricia de Lille, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon on the agenda on Radio 786. She is the Public Works and Infrastructure Minister, speaking to us after she has gazetted that land expropriation amendment bill. And looking at various aspects of land, it is, of course, a very big concern for South Africans, and we've seen the impact of people not having access to land here in the Cape as well.